I was at one of P. Diddy's freak-offs.
You saw celebrities there that you recognized.
It was a rapper that we all know.
Straight up porn directed by Diddy.
I'm just grateful to have made it out.
What I would say is I look at this from a standpoint of John coming up to heavyweight, which makes this intriguing. That's what people want to see. What does he look like coming up to heavyweight for the second time? I look at Jones coming off of a bicep tear at a new weight class. I mean, new, not completely new, but new. He's had one fight. I look at Stipe, who has spent I don't think more days out of the octagon, but maybe the same, almost the same amount of, close to the same amount of days as I spent away from the octagon with knee injuries. And I did okay. And then I look at Jones and just who he is, right? These are all things that I look at. And when I take all that information, of course, Stipe can get it done because he's a true heavyweight. He's got power in his hands. The question that takes that true heavyweight message away is the time off, right? Yeah. And I'll tell you, going through that myself, he didn't have an injury. He was just out. So from my experience, there was two good things. The number one main thing is the freshness of the mind. The number two good thing is the freshness of the body with the time away. Some people would say ring rust is real, all these things. You can't come back and look the same. The lights will get you, all these things. No, it's like if you do the correct training, if you really torture yourself enough before the next fight, and that's literally what it is. Just torture yourself to the bitter end. If you do that, then you're ready for the 5-round title fight, whether you've been out 5 years or 1 year or 10 years. I mean, you just have to torture yourself to the level that you're about to be at. And I would even say even more, if you've been gone a long time, torture yourself double what you normally torture yourself, because then when the panic hits you, you're prepared for it. You've got an extra leg on top of what you already have because you double tortured yourself. And that's all fighting is. It's a race, and who can deal with the torture longer than the other person until they come out on top or the button gets pushed. And I think that Stipe has the power in both hands at any given time. Power is the last thing that you lose in a fight or with age. Yeah. So he's got the power to push the button. He's got the boxing accolades and years of experience. And, so the things are there. But what makes this fight fun are all the intangibles that I just explained. That's why we're watching. It's the weird little intangibles here and there. The Stipe being gone, the Jones having his pec torn, moving up a weight class. These are things that make it fun for me.
I sometimes when I think of these things, Dom, I say, okay, how would Stipe go out there and win? What is that path? Is it landing a big punch and knocking John out? I mean, I don't get the feeling that Stipe is going to submit John. I don't think that Stipe is going to try and take John down. Obviously, it seems to me that John has many more ways that he could potentially win the fight. Is that correct?
I would agree with you on that. Like if you look at the analytics and you look at it's really like looking at the tool set. Let's say we made it a plumbing problem. Who's got more tools? And who do you hire for the job? The one with the full tool belt or the one with one tool? Now, this is the one thing, though, that you have to really take into notion. Power is almost 4 tools in one, just power. And Stipe does have a shot to knock you out. Like he has that power. He has a one-shot knockout power. We have seen it versus Fabricio Verdum. We've seen it versus other people where he touches you and you go down. So he does have that in his back pocket. And now that's what I would say is, as a heavyweight, you all have that. And that's new for Jones. Coming up to heavyweight, he's got to get hit less.
And really, I know we obviously have said, Dom, that he has a fight, but that was a fight that went less than half a round against Cyril Gane and was not spent on the feet much at all. So although he's got a fight under his belt, he really doesn't have much octagon time as a heavyweight, at least, under the bright lights.
I like what you just said right there about Cyril Gane. That's a very great point, man, because Cyril Gane has zero grappling, which is another piece you have to add to the equation for Stipe. And I'm not hating on Cyril Gane, but he goes to his back it's a style option is what I'm saying, more than he can grapple. He can grapple, but he goes to his butt more, which is a jiu-jitsu style of mixed martial art. Whereas Stipe has a wrestling style first. He was a boxer wrestler, and that is a good recipe to do well against Jones. And when you look at Stipe versus Ngannou, that's another sprawl and brawl style. So that's like a mirror match with more power. You know, Ngannou to me has more power. So if anything else, this really sets up another fight. I think the real fight that we got to talk about personally, if we're talking about Jon Jones being the greatest ever in every decade that there's been, it's like you got to face the new guys, and that Tom Aspinall's been looking nasty too. And that guy's the young, that's this decade true heavyweight. That is like this timing true heavyweight.
Right. He's like the 2024, right?
Old heavyweight, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, he's like you can like obviously see, Dom, when you look at the sport and you look at a guy like who was a heavyweight in the past, like Tank Abbott, like Tom Aspinall. I mean, right? Like they are very, very no shade on Tank Abbott, but that guy looks like he brawl in a bar, and this guy Tom Aspinall can do everything. I mean,
that's how you know you're educated, man. See, TMZ knows what they're saying. No, don't forget, don't sleep on TMZ people, because you're right. Tank Abbott, look at the difference. Look at you can't even. It's super visible to see the difference in style. And when we talk about Tom Aspinall, he's got the whole package. It's not just that he can defend and wrestle. He's also got the speed, the striking, the explosiveness, and more than that, he's got the weight and the size. That is the big difference. The frame holds the weight of heavyweight, and it needs to. It's not that it needs. He could probably cut weight to be a true heavyweight. So that's the real new age 2024 mixed martial arts highest level UFC. I believe heavyweight is Tom Aspinall. I believe Jon Jones I would be very interested in that fight.
Why is Jon resistant, do you think, Dom? I would never call Jon Jones scared of any or ducking anybody. Why do you think he's resistant to that? He's made it clear this week he seemingly does not want Tom Aspinall.
Yeah, scared is not the word. And and everybody can admit that. I'm not scared of anybody. When you're at this level in the UFC, I swear to God, I don't believe anybody's scared of me. I don't believe anybody, like, we're all not scared of each other.
No.
But the difference is the where your career is at, where your ego is at, and legacy is ego, attached to ego. You heard Tyson say it himself. He said, look, we're all dust at the end of the day.
Right.
And legacy, you heard Tyson say, I don't believe in legacy. Legacy is attached to the ego. Now, how much do you need your ego to win these fights? That's the question. And Jon Jones has a big ego. So I think that at the end of the day, that's what drives this man to be the killer that he is. And it's a very important thing that people love to watch take place. It's incredible to watch his ego just take him over on that fight week and just smash people. And we all want to let that out. And I think Jon Jones really encapsulates that as a whole with his being on that fight week. He just changes where he's like a roller coaster of emotions on that fight week. And, that's what this thing's about. So I think ego is what's on the line. And it's tough to fight a guy that's that big, that's that young, that's that ready. And I think that if there's ever a chance it could happen, it's now, because he's got this fight versus Stipe. I don't want to say it's like a tune-em-up fight, but it's like you're fighting a guy, a true heavyweight that's got true power to really tune yourself up. I think it's going to like trigger Jones to want to fight Aspinall and take out the new age, the true new age UFC mixed martial arts heavyweight right now. I think now when he beats that guy, I personally, as a fighter, the fan might not know, but as a fighter, when he can beat Aspinall after Stipe, it's over. Like, that's really, and some people would say, well, what's after that? There is nothing after that. Like, it's the new age heavyweight, Tom Aspinall, that he really is. He's got all the skills.